Ladies and gentlemen, K Kim here. Welcome to the daily update. Hope you guys had a good day trading today. Market is up about 1.3% on the S&P, led by the Nasdaq. So it looks like so yesterday we saw this market seeing some pullback. Right, we talked about that on the last night's video. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this is a shenanigan gap up. Definitely a shenanigan gap up, because I mean, just the way the market has been in this grinding higher move, it's been gapping up, almost every single day. It's been kept grinding higher and higher and higher. And finally, we see that long bearish, candle there, and we haven't seen anything like that for quite some time, right? Especially, the market has been in this extended levels. And I think a lot of people are expecting it to see at least coming back down here, maybe filling this gap. At minimum, retest my midterm moving average, because the last time the midterm moving average was retested was back in what? Back in, July 24, 26 or something like that here, as you can see. And even at the time, you can see that we did see a couple hours of that downturn. And then the next day, we did see a follow through to the downside. And here, we were dealing with kind of extended sessions. And then we are seeing some downturns here. And I think a lot of people are expecting it to see minimum another downturn day. But you know how market is, sometimes they like to mix things up when things get too predictable. And this is something that we've been talking about, that when you see the market is elevated like this. And we also talked about my rare signal on my oscillator, right? And when this signal happens, it means buyers are very adamant, right? And we talked about that. It's actually a very bullish signal, because this oscillator was not designed to have just oscillators floating up like this for days. I don't know last time I saw anything like that happening. And with that, we see a big downturn. I think a lot of bears got excited, maybe a lot of longs got scared, and then everybody was expecting it to see at least some continuation to the downside today. And out of nowhere, we see a gap up and just stays there, and I think it touched the all-time high on an intraday basis today. And it's crazy how, if you think about it, that we're at all-time highs. We're dealing with the all-time high level already 4 months later. How quickly that sentiment changed. Just think about how you felt back in March lows. How did you perceive this market? How did you look at this market? How were you preparing to deal with this market? And now 4 months later, we're at, we just tagged the all-time high level. And just think about how quickly that sentiment has changed so fast, and we're up here. So, like I said throughout the videos last couple weeks, we want to continue to, when I say benefit of the doubt goes to buyers, in the overall picture is that, because we're in a long-term uptrend. And we talked about how short-term sentiment changes very, very quickly. Because I think yesterday was the first day in a while since back in like late July that the price cleared or closed below my midterm moving average. And for any short-term traders, that was just a trap. Because any short-term traders are thinking, well, this market is extended, obviously, right? And then it's been grinding higher, right? And then all of a sudden we see kind of late hour decline, which was this. I think a lot of people jumped in kind of a maybe short-term, risky, short trades, hoping for a continuation, and market surprised them and doing a shenanigan gap up. I didn't expect. I wish I didn't expect to see a gap up high here either, and a lot of people didn't. And this is how the market likes to perform, is to surprise everyone. So this is the reason why we look at short-term, mid-term, and long-term. And in the short-term, sentiment changed quickly. That's why it's a short-term. So as long as we have my mid-term moving average continuing to move higher like this, and it's starting to really angle up here, right? And I've also seen some comments, right? Not only on my YouTube channel, YouTube video comments, but also on Twitter comments. People have been saying for about several days now, several trading sessions now, that it's about time to, hit that midterm moving average. It's about time to hit that midterm moving average. It's about time to hit that midterm moving average. This is a reason why I don't use that kind of language. Like it's like I know, like it's about time. Like it should be doing. That's why you gotta be very careful how you approach this market. How you don't come into a conclusion. You know what I mean? And I guess I understand though. Everybody has a different trading objective. So if you're like short-term bears and you're looking for that quick trade, I guess that's kind of what you're looking for. And obviously you guys know that I'm not a short-term trader. So, as I've been saying, I've been unloading longs, my aggressive, longs that have gained quite a bit of, it had quite a run, quite a gains. But I'm still my long-term longs, and that I've been pretty much accumulating since like 2016 low, 17, 18, 19, I've been accumulating these years. I hold a lot of those also, so that, and not to mention, I also have an index fund that I'm going to be holding for quite some time, which my view is market isn't going to crash. We're not going to get into a bear market anytime soon. And so, when I say my aggressive position, I mean like on my call options, I close out all my call options on Qs and Spider now. I closed out all my Spider calls yesterday, I think. And that I've been long since like the June lows, May lows, and stuff like that. And I had some triple shares that I was holding and double shares. Some of those are more like leverage ETFs and derivative contracts and things like that. I start closing them out. And some shares, like I was holding a lot of the shares on Apple and Netflix, those are all gone, which I talked about over the weekend. All my gold and silver is also gone, which I talked about over the weekend. They've been kind of coming down. They've been kind of tanking the last couple of days also. So how you deal with this market is, again, I don't do short-term trading, so I cannot tell you what I don't do. I cannot teach you what I don't practice. I can only teach you, I can only inform you in an area that I'm good at. You see what I'm saying? I cannot teach you on day trading because I don't do day trading. I cannot teach you on short-term trading because I don't do short-term trading. You are free to use this information however you want, but I can only inform you on the strategies that I've been, working with and developing and you know what I mean? Establishing and making it better with this efficiency for the last, many, many years. I can only inform you on that level, what I know how to do. So how you approach is, obviously, this is what I've been saying last, several couple of weeks, is you start to continuing. If you've been long before, I'm not talking about you went long like, here and here, but like before, we're talking back in May lows, June lows, right? April lows. Then you start unloading some, but you always want to hold some. And I talked about this on the weekend video also. You always want to hold some so that if market does keep grinding higher like this, you can still be a part of it. But at the same time, you want to start preparing to withstand or prepare for potentially seeing some kind of correction, maybe more sizable corrections. So when we do see something like that, you already prepared yourself to potentially accumulate more on certain levels that you're looking at. That oscillator here, you can see that we just seen a cross here, and it's been grinding and grinding. Somebody asked me, well, do you, is that some kind of bearish over? It is. It's just it's not a clean. It's not. It doesn't have its potency. It's not a clean peak to peak bearish divergence. It's like grindy, and so it loses a lot of its potency. When you start to see grindy divergence like this, it could grind I don't know how many days. And I talked about this last week when this thing happened right here. It could grind for days, and I don't know how long. I don't know when it's gonna break. I said that when that appeared right here, and it's no coincidence. It's grinding just above this level. Do you really think it's all of a sudden somehow it's like, oh, market decided it's going to do that? This is a level. This is a level that market decided it's going to grind, and the market continues to push higher. And I think because of the mindset, psychological, like get rid of technicals and fundamentals. Let's talk psychological, and I'll let you guys go with this. Psychologically speaking, there are so many people already know this is extended. We can all see it. NASDAQ is extended. S&P is getting to the all-time high. We just made a V-shaped reversal from like 220, on Spider to 240s. In just 4 months. That's a 55% run. We V-shaped higher. And, I think a lot of people are angry, I think because people got really scared and closed out their longs in March lows, see the market going right back up in just, little over a quarter. That's, it's very unsettling for those people exited their longs in March lows. And what about people who's been shorting? Well, it's very unsettling, very, very, aggravating when this market is not giving the bears anything. And so I think more people are kind of thinking, okay, well, there's no way. There has to be some kind of a steep pull. There has to be. So when people start thinking this way, like there has to be one, it's coming anytime soon, right? You'd be surprised how resilient this bull market can be. We will see steep correction. I don't know when. I've been telling you this entire time. I don't know when. I don't try to call it either. I'm gonna stick with the trend. Once trend shifts, that's when I will react and deal with that situation. But I want to continue to give benefit of the doubt to the buyers. Price gotten back up now over my short-term moving average. There's a little fake out here. Shenanigan up move. That makes even that much more bullish. If this thing does come down and fill this gap, that's going to act as support. So every time when buyers open up gap, you see that there's this gap here, this gap here, this gap here. It's that much harder. If bears start, marching at low, all these gaps going to act as support. And we got the midterm moving average here. It's going to be that much difficult for the bears to trying to bring it down unless some kind of crazy shenanigan sell-off, like, bloody days. But how can anybody see when that's coming? Last time we saw anything like that was here, this move. But even then, there's a big island gap. This thing tanked. I think there's a 68% that pullback, right? Even then, that was a great buying opportunity, which I was buying. I was buying at these levels, accumulating at these levels. I was buying triple shares. I was buying double shares. I was buying, call options on the indices, and I was adding onto Apple and all that stuff. And even then, this was a great buying opportunity. So just think about, like, before we got this 8% pullback, how many people trying to call that, and how many people got burned all the way through, and finally maybe a lot of bears finally capitulated or covered their shorts, and then a lot of times so it's like I said many times, it's extremely difficult. And it's why I'll let you guys go with this, but why it's more extremely difficult now? Because most people are just looking at it. People are in cash or people are been shorting. They can't go long here. They know that market is extended. NASDAQ is extended. S&P is at the all-time. There's no way these people can go long. So they're bored. So they keep looking to short, or they somehow want to be part of this action. The other direction, or they want to play some volatilities, but there isn't any lot of volatilities either. So it's been just grinding higher and higher and higher, and only people getting, profiting this move is somebody like, somebody who's more longer term, somebody like me, somebody who's been long before and riding this. But this is a level that so many people are getting very, very uncomfortable going long, and they're just aggravated to see that this market isn't seeing any kind of, downside move. So I'll come back for you guys tomorrow, and we'll see how the market is. But if we do see any kind of pullback, 335 is a level of support. We got short-term moving average at 336. This gap there is going to provide support. And so I wouldn't come to a dramatic conclusion at this point. We are extended, but market can stay extended for a while. When most people start to get very, all of a sudden most people start to get very, weary, waiting for a correction, and then they finally give up on that dream. That tends to be when the market starts to see a real correction. So I wouldn't try to call top, but continue to give benefit of the doubt, and we'll see how the market plays out tomorrow. I'll come back for you guys tomorrow night. You guys enjoy your evening. Good luck trading tomorrow.